All right, guys. I just wanna try and analyze the Nasdaq. Ne? No one is perfect, but I'll just share my view, right, man? Then maybe you learn something from it. It's not a signal or anything like that. I'm just sharing my views for in the next maybe this coming week because today is Sunday again. So maybe this coming week, I think this is what is gonna happen. This is what might happen, right, man? Then I just want you to learn something from how I analyze. Remember? So, sorry, we can see that the price has been doing one dish, up, down like that, ne? And then on this time frame, which is monthly, ne? The trend line was there when you're still going up, because remember this thing is just a summary of the company J100. That's why it is called this US 100. In some brokers it will be US 100. Here it will be, some will be US Tech, and then another one is Nasdaq, whatever. So it's just it's a stock of the company. It's 100 that technology, I think, in the US. So they all covered under this wall. Microsoft, Facebook, Twitter, I think, and all those companies there, they all form under this thing. So if those companies are not doing well, obviously even the stocks are Nasdaq is not gonna push up. But in most cases, or generally, we know that stocks, they, sort of the trend in the longer run, it will be going up like that, ne? Okay. So we can see that since, I would say, the beginning of this year, the price from here, from there, let's just use a different color, from here, the price has been sort of going down, right? It came to the trend line, and then we were expecting something like that, but it didn't happen, and then it pushed down. So you can see that on a bigger picture, the people that are pushing the price down, they are very much in control. So now if you want to buy, you can't just buy in the middle of nowhere. You must identify an area where the people that are selling, they are going to struggle to pass, and maybe that's where the bulls are going to come in and start pushing the price up. On a longer run or on a monthly, we can see that this has already been broken. We came below that. We can see that, ne? And then the next one would be somewhere here. So now the way I draw it, I tend to use a zone rather than a line or a horizontal line or a support. So you find people saying they put a horizontal line, that's my support, and then they tried specifically from that line. Now I feel like that one, you have to be a magician for you to get it right most of the time, because of what you'll find that sometimes price will do something like this. Sometimes price will come and turn here, not touch your thing. Sometimes it will come and break it a bit, and then whatever. So I'd rather have a zone around that area, so that to say that for as long as I'm within this zone, I'm still very much safe to look for buying opportunities. Whatever. So in this case, now my zone, I will put it I will make a separate video explaining how you come to mark these zones. So this is an area where if the price was to come here, if the price manages to if the price, sorry about that, so this is an area where if the price was to just push down one more time and come within this zone, that's where we'll expect some major reaction. So even if it doesn't hold, if let's say the price was to continue to going down like that, it won't just pass like this thing does not exist. It will come and maybe try and go up, but the buyers are not that strong, and then that's when they'll come and break it. So this is an area that we'll get some nice reaction should the price get there. So if you want to, maybe you can be lucky and find that this is the time when the buyers are gonna come for long term, and this is where we're gonna continue doing something like that, whatever. So that's where I feel like if the price can get here, most people will be very, 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 very excited that now they've gotten the discount that they wanted, and then they would buy, whatever. So that's all that is happening on monthly. So let's check the weekly. So on the weekly as well, we once had a trend line there which was broken, and then now we went down. Right. So we are sort of moving like this, dish, and then it came down. So this is that concept that I was telling you about. Someone could have done it this way, and I want to show you how this can backfire. Someone will, they will just go in and buy. At some point, their trend line was here, né? When the price was still maybe like this. We didn't have those new bars. Someone can say the trend line is broken. Let me wait for a retest, and then when I get the retest, I buy. Look what the price did. It went and broke all that and went even lower. So now if I'm trading, waiting for the bearish structure to be like I explained in the previous video where I said you must break the trend line and also violate the bearish structure. If we're going down, now we're about to change and go up, violate that structure completely, then that's when I'll be like, oh, now I can start buying. In this case, the resistance or the zone is somewhere there. It's somewhere here. We draw it somewhere there, so you can see that the price didn't come above it. Even if you use the horizontal line and say this is my resistance, the price didn't go above it. So if the price comes down, if I think of buying, and you must think twice, because the structures are bearish. It's still holding the price, still rejected the price, and I want to reject it, it rejected it with what? With this rejection bar. That's not a good sign. So the bears, the sellers, they are still in it, like one, and then they pushed the price down. And then currently, what are they doing? They are forming a very nice, very interesting bar there, and then which is more or less the same as what they formed there, which is a rejection bar. One, you can see they formed one here, and then the price went up. They formed one here, the price went up. One, so they formed one here, the price went down. One, so this is an interesting candlestick that is forming. But I so wish that the price would just come here and then start forming these rejections bars. Then we know that all the buyers, they are now starting to kick in. They are pushing the price up. That's why they are forming these pin bars. So but now this is tricky because the pin bar is forming above the area that we're interested in. But that's not the problem. That's not an issue at all. So remember I said, what should you do when the trend line is broken? In this case, we broke it and then came and went lower than that. That's when I said you must update your trend line and make sure that you use the recent high, so your new trend line would be there. On weekly, this is all that we have. Let's go down to daily. So remember, this is the trend line that was drawn on weekly. So these structures, when you switch their time frames, they are going to overlap, so you can even remove it because it doesn't belong here, right? Mara, you must always keep in mind the structure that you saw on the other time frames. We know that on monthly, we're just waiting for the price to touch this monthly demand zone or the monthly area of support, and then on weekly, the price is forming these bars. They are forming a rejection bar. Mara, we saw which they could have touched here, and then now we are on daily. That's what I'm saying. When you're trading, make sure that the structure on all these time frames, it's sort of connecting, right? So on daily, we don't have much happening. Our trend line is somewhere there, and this is our next area of resistance, this zone here. The last time the price was somewhere around there, it did this and then it got rejected and went down. And remember, where it is getting rejected, that's where so that's where I'm saying, if we get rejected like that, the next time the price come here, we can't just behave like we don't know what happened the last time price came here. So the price can still be rejected again. But if you were to get buying opportunities, you can buy, and when the price hits this daily trend line, you can exit, or if it hits this daily area of resistance, you can exit also. You can't just buy. You can't just say I'm buying here and then you end up putting your TP up there. That's very unrealistic. It can happen, yes, Mara. You need to be realistic. What about all the areas of resistance that are there in between? Why don't you exit there? Because sometimes you'll find that the price will hit resistance and then come and breathe before it continues. So are you going to hold while it is doing something like this? Why one? So that's not wise. That's not the smartest thing to do. So we can see that. So take note, or the things that we can see on this time frame is that we also have rejection bar, which is more or less the same as what we saw on weekly, which is this. So if we were to get a buying opportunity, we will just get it and exit somewhere around this area, which is also a trend line. Right? So that's all that we know. So the fact that we have a pin bar here and we have a pin bar on weekly, we can look for buying opportunities. Mara, we so wish we could have came here. So even if we take a loss and the price still wants to go down there, it's fine. We'll get a discount and look for buying opportunities again when we get there. Right? So that's all that we can say on the daily time frame. Let's move down to H4. I don't want to go lower than this because I want the structure to be as clear as possible. That's why I said we will. That's why I said now I'm analyzing for the entire week, to say what is it that could happen in this coming week, not the coming day. Because remember, if you analyze on M15 will never tell you where the price is gonna go next week. Because it's very small. The scale is very small. But if I'm checking H4, I know that a couple of H4 candlesticks, they can last for 3 days. They can represent a 3-day range. Then we know that the week is over. That's why I'm saying I'm gonna end here, so that I sort of have a picture of what could happen in the coming week. Like one. So this is H4. If you had a bigger account, Maralena, I wouldn't advise you to take trades, live trades, while you're still learning, because you'll be discouraged. So just give yourself time and learn. So this is the trend line that we had on H4, right? Remember what I said about area of resistance, which is, let's just use the same. That's what I'm saying. When you're analyzing, make sure that you do the same thing over and over again. Or let's just use this. When you analyze, don't change your approach. Approach must be the same. Whether you took a loss previously doesn't mean you should change your approach next time. You can't change your approach based on what happened once, unless if it happens over and over again, then you can try and modify your style of analyzing. So here what we can see is, number one, a bearish trend line broken. We can all agree the trend line was broken somewhere there, right? And we have hit opposing zone or resistance area. So we broke the trend line, we've hit the resistance area. So remember I said, if I wanted to buy, someone would say, imagine if this thing was to come here. Someone can say, let me buy and hope that it goes up. Yes, that can happen. But remember, why are you buying if the price is being rejected from a bearish structure and we haven't taken out the bearish structure? But you can't just rely on trend line. Just because the trend line is broken, that's not enough. We need to break the trend line and also take out the structures that bearish. Take it out completely. Remember, if the price was to go up here, if the price is to something like this, then we can look for buying opportunities. And when we are buying, we don't even care about this area anymore, because this area doesn't exist anymore. It would have been broken. So once it is broken, it does not exist anymore. So that's what I'm saying. If we break this area, we will know that even when I'm buying, the next possible area of resistance will be somewhere up there, which means if I'm buying here and then I'm putting my take profit there, that's a very enough space for me to make a decent amount of money. So based on what is happening here, so these are the possibilities that could happen. Number one, Mara is saying the odds, based on the structure, the odds are leaning to the upside, guys. They are leaning to the upside. We know that we said we have that monthly structure that at the bottom where we feel like the price, we wish it could go and touch it. Mara, here we can see that the odds are really pointing to the downside all the way from weekly. When we started with weekly, we mentioned this rejection bar that formed here last week, and then we moved to daily. We also had a rejection bar there, and then now we are on H4. On H4, we can also see that we touched the opposing structure, which is the resistance level, the resistance area there, and we're forming a pin bar. So this resistance level it can cause the price to, it can hold and cause the price to go down. So if the price comes down, don't say it is the retesting this I'm buying. You can buy, it can work out, mara very risky, because the bearish are still pushing the price down. The only thing that they lost is the trend line. They can push the price down and do this. When they do that, remember, we'll be forming a new trend line, because we'll be having a new low. Whatever, just like what we did on weekly, I think. Yes, on weekly. Remember, we once had a trend line here, and then the thing, we broke that trend line, and then we came back and made a new low. When you made a new low, that's when I said you are allowed to update your trend line. Your trend line will be there because of what we have a new low, which is there. 11. So that's the same thing that we could have on H4. Should the price react to this, should it be rejected from this and go down lower than this, it means now our new trend line would be there. 11. So at this point in time, for us to buy, we want this, we wait for this to do this. Yeah, when it did that, it means that the structure of the base has been violated completely. Then we can take a trade from this. We can see there was a pause here. There's also some demand here. So if it does that, we can also look for buying opportunities here, or you can wait at the bottom. The more it moves down, it comes to this one, the better, because that will be, it means now it is giving us enough room to go back up, which is going up to this. So that's my view on Nasdaq this for this coming week, is to say that I hope it breaks this. When that happens, we can look to buy from here or here. Then we'll be exiting there. That's where we'll be putting our TP. So that's it. You can go lower and lower, but remember, the lower you are going on your thing, the more the structure changes, the more the scale is going to be smaller. You might have the false signals. So now I'm going to end on H4. You can use the same approach on your own time frames. But remember, I said you can't just look at one time frame and say, now I'm trading M15. I'm just going to open M15 and analyze and then go and take trades. Because you'll find that M15, what you're seeing there, it's what is very much against what is happening on H4. And remember, H4 is bigger than M15. The structure on H4 is most likely going to win over that one. Even though the M15 sometimes it might work as opposed to H4. Mar, we are working on odds. We must make sure that whatever that we do, it makes sense and we stick to it over and over again. So you check your own time frames. You can say, I don't want to go higher than H1. Then I'm taking H1, and maybe you're taking M30 and M15, or M15 and M5. So that's up to you, Mara. You must make sure that the structure on all of them is agreeing, just like I did here when I moved from monthly, I went to weekly, I did daily, and then I did H4. So yeah, on H4, this is what I hope. I hope the bulls can take out this high. When they take out this high, then we are more than welcome to buy at any areas of interest, areas of support, or areas of demand. And because after taking it out, it won't exist anymore, it will be out. It means if we get a buy here, after breaking that, our TP has to be up there. So that's it. I will see you in the next one. I'm gonna end this one here. So we'll see what happens on Friday. We'll check on it again. Check up on it. I think on Friday, before the market close, just to see how the price has moved from here. All right.